Hey, good morning, guys. You there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, Tom.
Hey.
Hal Cohen here. Bob
Okay.
McKenney here.
Try to speak a little louder, because Tom Curl has hearing aids, and he can't hear you that well, so he's listening.
All right.
Okay, first of all, let me introduce these guys. Bobby McKenney, five-time state champion, played college basketball at St. Lawrence and Potsdam. After that, he improved dramatically and might even pass Hal as a player. I'm throwing that in there. He became one of the toughest son of a guns I've ever had to guard, and he's at Bishop Grimes now, and I'm not sure if Bishop Grimes made the state championship, but I know that JD did when you were there. And also we have Hal Cohen, who's making a comeback. He was on once with Rick Carlisle, and which was a really funny show. Let's hope this one's pretty funny too. Hal played at Syracuse for 4 years. He's a doctor, and he was at, I believe, Upstate Medical Center in Syracuse. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. For
You're doing great.
For a very long time. Very well respected in the Syracuse area, and he, I have to throw this in there, he has a high school state record for most consecutive free throws, and he'll be talking about that too. The first thing I want to ask you guys, did you get a chance to read the article?
Well, Tom, I'll go first.
Okay.
I called my mother, and she went right out and got a St. Lawrence plain dealer, and she loved it. And I didn't need to read it anymore. That's all I needed to know. As long as my mother loves it, you're in good shape, Tom. Thank you.
Well,
can I add one more thing, real quick?
Yes. Yep.
It wasn't long after college when not only Bob McKenney passed me in basketball, but Tom Lacey passed me in basketball.
There you go. First joke of the night. Bob, did you get a chance to read the article?
Yeah, it was a fantastic article, and I would have to tell you that if Mrs. Cohen approved it, everybody along the North Country lines would approve it also. That would be the first and foremost thing. And Lacey, I got to throw this in there. Did you ever think there'd be a day when you relied on me for technology to get into the radio show? I'm horrible with technology. In fact, could you guys explain how to screw in a light bulb for me? I have no idea.
Is it to the right or to the left?
You don't even know.
Righty tighty, lefty loosey, Doc.
Okay.
But I'm trying to get it in the Syracuse Post Standard. I'm pretty sure they're going to take it, so that'll be the next, because mainly, Hal did a lot of stuff in the Syracuse area, and so did Coach McKenney in the Syracuse area. So that's next, and probably be about a week. I'm not sure if you like the pictures. I tried to get the one with you guys at St. Simon's, and they didn't put it in there. But they did put the one.
Oh.
They put the one of the free throws, and there's a little line. Someone wrote something underneath it saying, "I'm going to break that record," which happened to be my handwriting. But it's on the article, and I'm saying, "Oh my gosh!"
Wow, that's got to be with your writing on it. That's got to be worth a lot of money now.
So we got that. Yeah. I want to first start out. I have a comment from your high school coach, one of the most respected high school coaches in New York State, and he was just such a great guy, as you guys know. I always loved Coach Howard Hand so much, and he's also going to call at 8:45, and when he calls, he won't be able to hear your responses, so he's going to hang up after, and then you can respond after that. but he's
Wow.
going to call my cell phone. And we're still working on our technology here. In fact, let's see, Chris, can you screw in that light bulb for me, please? Okay,
Sure.
I'm just kidding. All right.
Hey, how much you kind of technology pay down there, up there? I think I can come and help.
Well, I don't know much about that at all. But okay, here's Coach Howerhand. As Lacey, as you know, I have the utmost respect for those two individuals, Bob and Hal, and teammates, put our Canton hoops on the map for sure. They are not only outstanding players, they have been mostly loyal to me and the Canton community. They know what the word team stood for. They have an outstanding career. Hal is a doctor, Mac one of the best coaches in the state. And he just said he loved coaching you guys, and he loves the fact that you all stick together still to this day, which is that's what it's all about, really, when you think about it. And that's one of the reasons why I wrote that article. So just about what friendship just does for everyone. It just keeps you alive, as you know. So any comments to Coach Howerhand on that comment?
Well, can I go first, Mac?
Why not?
Yeah, this is about you, Doc. So yeah.
Well, I talking about this whole experience. Well, number one, Coach Howerhand probably is one of the most important people in my life, and I'm sure others that were in our group. But he really was the leader for us, like a father figure for, at least for me and for a lot of people, and friends for others. And am I allowed to read a note written by Lieutenant Colonel Mike Bowman?
Yes. I
That
was going to read it, but is it the same
yeah,
one
but
you
I
sent
want to
me?
be the star. I want to be the star of the show. I want to read, unless you want to read
Okay,
it.
no, you read it. He's your buddy.
I thought this was great. I asked our guy, the group of us, the six of us here that we got together recently, that if he had any thoughts. And real quickly, he wrote it within about 1 minute. He wrote this note, and I'm like, I'm going to frame this thing. So he said, basketball brought us together. This is Lieutenant Colonel Mike Bowman.
Mm-hmm.
Defender of our country. Basketball brought us together, and Coach Howerhand was the catalyst. He set the tone and provided the leadership that made that happen. The foundation of our friendship was set in our school years, particularly high school. We went our separate ways as we raised families, but still stayed in touch. Then 5 years ago, with 5 quick phone calls, that close bond we had 50 years ago was rekindled, and we became the Hoolies Hikers in honor of our coach, Howerhand. And I thought, wow, it took him a minute to think, 30 seconds to think of that, and I couldn't think of that if I had a day. So that was very nice. So a shout out to Lieutenant Colonel Mike Bowman.
Very nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Coach McKenney,
Do
anything about?
I get to speak? All right.
Yep.
I would just echo, I think, what Hal said, and what, we call him Bo. Like Bowman said, again, Coach, for me, having lost my parents at a fairly young age, has remained a father figure to me my whole life. We were also lucky. I think, we had Coach Howerhand growing up. We had Mr. Cohen, another avid basketball coach and dad to a lot of us.
Comedian. Don't forget comedian.
You can track back to, those great people, those great coaches. I think to why we have this bond, and it's funny how it all ended up with, like, you guys. We kind of merged our bond together. The Canton kids and the Plattsburgh kids, and now 40, 50 years later, we're we all remain best of friends. So
Mhm.
pretty cool. And I think that started with Coach Harahan and Coach Holmes and
Mhm.
Mr. Cohen. We had a lot of obviously a lot of other people, but it just really I guess taught us the meaning of friendship.
Yeah, and that's what it's about.
Again.
In anything,
Yeah, exactly.
Especially basketball, it seems you have friends for life. That it does something. If you're just gonna be friends for life, and I'm sure all you guys are. And you went to St. Simon's Island, which I owned a condo there, so I used to go there quite a bit. I don't know why Jeff Holmes asked you this, Mac, but he asks if you got a how many times did you use a Uber on St. Simon's Island? I don't know what he means by that. Do you know what he means?
Uber.
Yeah. Do they have them there?
Yeah, we Ubered. There's not a lot of Ubers actually on St. Simon's Island, I found out, but we did Uber. No, maybe we didn't. Why? How did Jeff ask that? That's really funny. I don't know.
Because
how far did you
I've
go?
only been to St. Simon Island once in my life. I think.
How far did you go in the Uber?
I think Jeff asked that because Steve has a place on Jekyll Island, which is right next to it, and I don't think they have Ubers on the island there. Maybe that's why he's just Jeff. He's a wise guy too. So
no, I guess he wanted to know how far did you go in the Uber?
Yeah. So we literally, me and Lyle Newman, we call him Sparky Lyle. Growing up, we decided, we're the two single guys, so we were going to go hang out, and we went for a while and they hung out. We had fun. We had a couple drinks, and then we said, well, we're not very far, so we're gonna walk back. We're gonna walk back to the condo. So we walked about a mile and a half. I looked at him and I said, I'm in sandals. My feet hurt. I said, that's it. We're done. I'm calling an Uber. So we call an Uber. We probably waited 15 minutes. He pulls up and he drives us 2/10 of a mile to the condo.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know how Jeff got that story, but that's it. That's the Uber story. Yeah, we walked a mile and a half, then we gave up and we called an Uber, and it was about 2/10 of a mile left to where we were staying.
And it cost you how much?
$15. Story of my life right there.
Isn't St. Simon's beautiful though? Isn't it so beautiful? It really is. We enjoyed our place there, and it wasn't far from the ocean, and so it's a hidden gem, really. So, but that's just my opinion. And Jeff said to ask Hal about how Coach Boeheim recruited him after he found out he got the head coaching job at Syracuse. And I know that was in the article, but Jeff will not pay the $2.99 that you're supposed to pay to get that. He actually asked me if he could pay in bottles and cans, and that.
Yeah.
So
we can set up a payment plan. They can set up a payment plan for him.
Yeah, Bert's doing that for me as well.
Well, the question was, Coach Boeheim. Yeah, so I was recruited by. I went to basketball camp at the Big Orange camp, and there was no AAU back then. So the way you got seen and recruited was by going to the various camps, and Syracuse had the Big Orange camp, and so I went there, and Coach Danforth was the head coach, but Coach Boeheim ran the camp. He was Coach Danforth would come in, give a talk, and then Coach Boeheim would take over for the rest of do all the work. So come senior year, I was visiting Syracuse in December and of my senior year, and they offered me a scholarship to go there.
Mm-hmm.
And but then in April, Coach Danforth left. He went to Tulane, took a job in Tulane.
Okay.
And then Coach Boeheim took over, and I didn't know the rules at that time, but apparently when a coach leaves, you have to be re-recruited. You have to re-sign again. And so yeah, I got a telephone call which lasted about 5 seconds, and Coach Bam said, you still want to come to Syracuse? And I said, okay. And it was like click, click, hang up,
Wow.
So that was about a 5-second recruiting experience. And
did Coach Danforth, when he went to Tulane, did he ask you if he wanted to come?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if he asked anybody to go, but I think no.
That's fine.
The answer is no. But he did ask, he did call, and he said, "What do you know about this Tom Lacey from Plattsburgh? Do you think he would go with me?" Okay, I'll stop.
This is from...
Based on his record down there, he should have probably brought you with him, Doc.
He didn't do well down there?
I think I probably did okay, but I don't think it wasn't the level of what he possibly could have done at Syracuse.
Yeah.
He had taken them to the Final Four 2 years prior to my being there, but he was a good coach.
Okay.
Yeah, crazy. That's actually crazy when you think about that move. And that would never happen probably in today's world.
No, not at all. This
it would be if there
was somber. We got very somber there.
If there was millions of dollars involved, it wouldn't be easy. It wouldn't be hard to move.
You're right. This one is from Leo Ryan, as we all know. He said, "Good morning, Bobby and Hal. Bobby, my family thoughts and prayers are with you. Who's the best high school player you ever coached?" He's talking to you, Bobby.
Well, I've been so lucky.
I know it's probably hard to pinpoint
I've had
that.
so many great players. I could probably do a top 10, and we'd have a pretty good Division I college basketball team. But probably, I guess I would say it's kind of a tie. Brandon Trish and Tyler Kavanaugh.
Nice.
Brandon had Brandon not tore up his knee his sophomore year, which was crazy. He tore his ACL in the first half. Our trainer did all the checks, and his leg was so strong they couldn't budge it. And then he came back and played the entire second half with a torn ACL, and we upset Archbishop Malloy. So I am 1-0 against the winningest coach in all sports in New York State. And he came and saw me the next day, and his knee was the size of 2 softballs. I'm like, this isn't good for our season. And he had the torn ACL. I mean, he would have been. His sophomore year, he was off the charts. He was playing so well. And then Tyler Kavanaugh, he was 6'10". He's a European 4, could shoot the ball, but he just worked so hard at the game. I guess that both of those two guys is what would probably stood out for me. Maybe just edge out like Dajuan Coleman and some of the other great players that I had.
I know for a fact. I know for a fact that people in Milton are listening, and you better name someone from Milton that you coached.
Oh well, yeah. Thank you. I'm getting old. I forget how. I got to go all the way back to my roots. I just went to. I went a few weeks ago to, a couple months ago now, but I went to Brent's Hall of Fame induction in the Vermont Basketball Hall of Fame. And Brent Kendall, who was one of the best pure shooters I ever coached, that played for me at Milton High School, and took us to a couple of Final Fours.
Nice.
When I was over there, and just a great kid. We had a blast. I got to see friends from, the kids. I call them kids. They're all in their 50s now. The kids that I started out teaching there, and we had a big reunion, and it was just a grand time. I really had a blast going back there. Ran into Coach Brennan and Bernie Saplicki. It was a great weekend.
I'm sure. And Leo said, "Hal, who was the best player you ever played against?" He wants to know that. you ever played
Well-
against. And he's serious. Be serious on this one. I know how you can be.
Best player I ever. Well, I mean, from in college, I mean, Magic Johnson was.
Did
the
you
best
guard him?
player Well, Coach Boeheim didn't think I could really guard too many people, so we played a lot of 2-3 zones.
Okay.
So whenever he was in my area, I guarded him. From a high school standpoint, the best players I ever played against, number one, well, I mean, just playing like pickup and things like that, were Doug Huntley, and Gino Grabelny, and the toughest guy I ever had to guard was Bob McKenney.
There we go.
Now the other guys that I always had trouble with were Bobby Bruno, Jim Ferguson, Sparky Newman. Those were all great players, and but there were many players.
I'm sure.
Did I say Joe Cardney?
No, but when I do my word association, he's going to be on there. So I'm going to be doing that. But that's going to be pretty funny with you guys. I know.
Oh wait! We forgot. What am I saying? Rick Carlisle.
Yeah, Rick wasn't too bad. I could be wrong, but he was he. I'm thinking the only guy out of the North Country to play in the NBA. I could be wrong about that.
No, I got to tell you real quick thing, and then so when I was a senior in college, and Rick I think was going to prep school. So before Rick went to Carlisle, I went to prep school. I thought I could score on him anytime I wanted to. When he came back from prep school, I could not score on him. So he was always a good offensive player, but when he came back from prep school, he was a man. You know, I couldn't score on him again. So after that, I always had him on my team, so I wouldn't have to guard him. But I would have to put him. I might have to put him at number one, along with Coach McKenney.
All right.
Thanks, Doc.
That's
thanks for
very nice. Very nice. And then Leo
at
added.
At our age, you know, that little boost to ego is always a good thing.
I know it. Leo added, it was also a joy getting together with you two and play basketball, enjoy each other's company. We had good times and good laughs. You know, as you know, Leo was in the Canton area, attending Canton ADC, and he knew you guys well, and so he just wanted to, he sent that on his own. You know, he's listening right now, so if you want to say something to Leo.
Yeah, I do. Can I say something?
Yeah.
Well, it's Leo in the Plattsburgh community. I think
he's in
even
Boston.
Though we were in separate sections. You were section 10. You guys were section 7.
Mm-hmm.
I think we grew up in similar environments. You know, I mean, we grew up in the 60s and 70s, and I don't know. Canton was a very special place, and maybe the same with you guys. Getting to know you guys, Leo and Jeff Moskowitz and the Holmes brothers and this guy Tom Lacey. It just seemed like we could have switched places. You know, you guys could have been in Canton, we could have been in Plattsburgh, or intermixed the groups. And it would be just like we grew up with each other for all those years. And then when we did get together afterwards, after high school and college, and played in different tournaments, it was just like you guys were from Canton, and hopefully you thought of us as being, like also from like Plattsburgh. You know, the mutual respect, or I guess maybe because maybe the centerpiece of all this that maybe haven't mentioned yet was the Potsdam camp and Coach Welch's influence on all the coaches in the North Country. So that was a common, a bond between all the schools up there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I have a question for from Jeff Holmes to Coach McKenney. He said, ask Mac how playing and coaching has prepared him in his battle against cancer. And if you don't want to answer that, that's fine.
No, that's fine. I have no problem talking about the cancer. So I don't know. I think I guess it's it's part of life. You have road bumps. I think because of basketball and the ups and downs and the wins and losses and bouncing back. I think all of that plays a huge part in everything you do in life. And I think just in terms of fighting cancer and things are going good. It's a 10-year kind of thing. I got to keep an eye on everything pretty closely, but I got to take these wonderful pills every day for another 8 years. But that's okay. I think there's definitely a correlation. It's a correlation to everything we do in life. I think the life skills we learn from all sports, but I guess for all of us, it was basketball.
Oh yeah,
they transcend. So I'm doing well. I will battle. I think that's how we all played. All of us played, and I think that's one of the bonds we shared is how hard we battled. So yeah, that's all.
That's nice.
Thank you, Jeff, for thinking of me.
Yeah, he's from Canton too, kind of. No, I mean okay. I like this question a lot. One loss record of all your one-on-one games since you met, probably 4th grade. What do you think it is? Take a guess.
Can I jump in?
Yep.
Can I jump in now first?
Yes, you may.
Because you're going to lie. I wouldn't even know how to put a number on it. I would say Hal won 90% of the one-on-one games we played. I hated one-on-one. I hated it. I was 5'7". I would go to basketball camp, and we would go to the one-on-one station. I'd be looking around like, here we go. I can't get a shot off because I can't get a shot over any of these guys. So yeah, it had to be like 90%. Doc would tell you it wasn't that, I'm sure, but it definitely was probably pretty close to that. Now, not to me. That's 90% to Hal.
Like I've said many times, the toughest defensive player I ever played against in high school, college, in the NBA. Well, actually, I didn't make it to the NBA. Wait a minute. High school and college.
That was that men's league, right? We thought it was the NBA.
No, it was Bob McKenney. No question. And, toughest player, and that started about 4th grade. And we had some battles, and usually I was pretty calm about when I was playing basketball up to when I played against Coach McKenney, no matter if it was one-on-one or we were always on the opposite teams. He was always on one team, and he would. I've never really got into a fight before, but I always wanted to with him. You know what I mean? And so that's when I had to go into the low post, and when I started. He actually in 7th grade was taller than I was, and then after that it was over for him.
Yeah, it wasn't fun after that.
Well, then I could use my low post moves on him, but no, those were always great battles. And
I'm sure it made you both better. You said you didn't fight. Didn't tell us about the boxing gloves.
Oh,
so, I mean, was it a late hit, Bobby? Did he hit you late?
Oh hell yeah! Bird rang the bell, I dropped my gloves, and then I got cold hot. I didn't get knocked out, though. I had to set the record straight on that.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure I had a concussion. I had a concussion, but I did not get knocked out. I didn't know where I was for the rest of the day.
It was a technical knockout. TKO.
First concussion, 7th grade, boxing match.
I know, that's pretty funny. It really is.
I did not hear the bell.
God.
Wow.
Funny, good stuff.
So basically we were competitive. Just like I bet you guys are the same way growing up. Get on your bikes, get down to the grammar school, play baseball, get out in the summer, get to the park. Then you go swimming, then you come back and you run around, make up all these different types of games and stuff, and so you were always football teams, basketball teams, baseball teams, always competing against each other, So that was great.
Yeah.
And just a great great time to grow up in the North Country.
Yep. Coach Howerhand just texted. He said, Bob always won the loose ball drills, though. He always did. Is that true?
Yeah.
I'm sure
Coach
you
made me
did.
do that when I was 48 years old, speaking at his basketball camp against one of his players. Yeah, I dove on the floor. I got it. We wrestled for. It was Doug Huntley's nephew. We wrestled. It was Danny Huntley's son. We wrestled for it for several seconds. Felt like several hours, and I got it. I limped around for 4 days, but I got that doggone ball. My elbow was swollen.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I asked Hal a while ago about this one, about inspirations. And Bobby, who was your biggest inspiration? I know that's a tough one to answer, but if you could pinpoint just one person.
I mean, really, I think the reason we're here today, for the most part, is Hal. And he, I don't know, he's just been that person my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
He's taught humility, and no matter what he accomplishes, it's about something else. He's kind of spearheaded the six of us getting back together. We think he's lost his mind a little bit.
A little bit, yes.
All of a sudden, he wants to hike the Appalachian Trail. Like we're like, Doc, where did this come from? And zip line and go White River rafting. Like Doc, you never did anything like that growing up, and now you want to do all these things. I think he's just. He set a standard, I think, for all of us in the North Country. Even though we grew up in a small town, small area, that hard work will can carry you to wherever you want to go, and it doesn't matter whether you're in Syracuse or Canton or Plattsburgh. And I just think he really was the role model for kind of what kind of the work ethic that it takes to maybe get to another level in a sport that we all have in common, that we all love. So, he's been an inspiration. I was lucky to meet him as a 7-year-old young man, and
Canton.
Be on the phone with him.
Thank you.
Years later, so
I'm all teared up here. I gotta get some Kleenex here.
I want you guys to talk about some of those Ogdensburg games. I know of the one that you won at the buzzer.
Can I jump in here in my inspiration?
Yes.
Although Mac is close, my father was number one.
I knew that. Yes.
And he was my inspiration. Kind, humble,
funny.
Took an interest in everybody, and was a great listener. And so hopefully that rubbed off on me a little bit. So he was always my inspiration. So I just want to get that out there.
Yeah.
All right.
It's in the article.
Move on to.
Okay. Talk about some of those Ogdensburg games. I know the one that you won at the buzzer, but there must have been some other ones. Did you guys pack those gyms? And Coach Myrna, did he do anything special against you guys, or triangle and two, or anything like that to stop you guys? Who guarded you? Any fights in the stands? Stuff like that. That was your biggest rivals. I knew that.
Well, right. Mac, you want to go, Mac? I'll.
There's never really any fights. I guess the closest was at Ogdensburg our junior year, and Gary Bernsey, was that who it was, Hal?
I think so. I'm not sure though. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble over the air.
Well, I don't know, but he knocked Hal down, and that could be somewhat of a tactic at times for some of the teams. And I always got really ticked off when people knocked Hal down. So I, of course, walked over and told him, "Don't ever do that again." Now he's 6'4", built like a brick, and I'm 5'7", 35 pounds. And then after the game, he just came over and casually mentioned that if I'd like to meet him out in the parking lot, he was going to rip my head off.
Wow!
And of course I said sure. But obviously the coaches never let us get out in the parking lot. But we used to. I think one of the thrilling things about our rivalry with those guys. So we would fill every gym. I think the very last game we played at Mackey Hall, we filled Mackey Hall, which is a funny story because Coach Welsh use that picture. Oh no, it was our game with you guys. Actually, we'll come back to that.
Mm-hmm.
But our last game at Canton, they streamed. And this really didn't happen much back, obviously, in the '70s. They streamed the game into the auditorium because it was such a large overflow crowd for this particular game. So, so it was really exciting to have a rivalry like that in high school. It's funny. I didn't know. You just kind of you think it's kind of the same thing. You think the Ogdensburg guys are just bad guys, and then you get to know them in college, and they're just like you. They're just great people.
Yeah.
But it was funny to find out that Coach Myrna and Coach Howard were best of friends. If you watch them coach against each other, they're yelling at each other from one side of the court to the other, down the gym to the other side. It was fun to watch them coach against each other. And two of the greatest coaches ever to come out of the North Country in high school sports. So, but it was funny. I coached with Coach Howard the one year, and we had the game with Ogdensburg. I can't remember who won. And he goes, well, we're going to go ahead, we're going to stop and have a beer at the inn. And, we walk in, and there's Coach Myrna, and everybody's buying everybody. The coach and Billy had just yelled at each other. And now we're drinking beers, and the officials come in, and it's like, I'm thinking, what is happening here? Like, you don't realize behind the scenes that there was always that, close tie and close bond amongst all these
respect,
people we just thought were, people that everybody competed against. So we just had great battles. It was a lot of fun.
Yep. Hal?
Tom, can I jump in?
Yeah.
So
I'm done.
I just add a couple things. Number one, actually, this rivalry started when we were in 7th or 8th grade, when the Canton high school team in 71, led by Doug Huntley and Larry Hazen, Hazen, and that group, we Cartmill, and they played Ogdensburg in the sectional finals at Canton ATC. And as kids, you're watching this, and we got this because it was jam packed. We had to sit on the floor right next to the next to the game. So Canton ended up winning that game, and it's stuff like that inspires you to want to go out and play and that kind of thing, and you can practice and get better. And so that was the beginning of all that. And then we played. Each year, our sophomore, junior, and senior years, we lost 2 games each year, and so we lost to Ogdensburg twice over that. So they were the 2 of the 6 losses, and one of the losses was in the sectional finals. I think it was a sectional final. Yeah, sectional finals our junior year. So we always talk about winning our sectional final our senior year, but nobody ever talks about them beating us, except for Coach Myrna, if he's listening, that junior year. But that inspired us for our senior year. But so that, I guess that's the difference between winning and losing. Here we are 50 years later talking about the game that we won. We don't talk about the game that we lost. So
yeah.
They were always just like Plattsburgh players, great players, and and like Max said, ended up being great guys. And Coach Myrna's like one of our, we get along great, and he's just a nice guy and
funny guy.
I mean, they had many Dupre and the Burnsies were good players, and Badlams, and it was a whole list of players,
Yep.
So.
Okay, I'm going to do this word association with names, and you just do it as quick as you want.
All right, Mac, you take the first one. I'll take the second one. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you're both going to give answers on, but have Mac go first every time. Jerry Welch.
Oh man, leave me.
Jerry Welch, comment or quick comment.
Want me to go first, Mac? You go first, Mac.
Greatest coach and best teacher I was ever around in basketball.
Okay. Hal?
All right, be a good person. That's the first thing I learned at basketball camp when he came out and said that. He didn't talk about X's and O's. He said, be a good person. I will always remember that.
Okay. Marty Head.
Tough. Great. Best shooter I've ever seen. And just a real tough guy. But a good friend.
Mm-hmm.
I got one from Marty. Still wants to kick my ass after all these years.
I heard about that one. He mentioned it when I interviewed him that you guys came really close, or maybe you did. I don't know.
We did. It's a good thing because his niece is my boss now.
Okay, Joe Cardney.
Go ahead, Mac.
Great player, great competitor.
Hmm. Hal?
Actually, yeah, great player, funny guy, great stories. I've heard of him.
Mm-hmm.
Heard about him.
Yep. Okay, Caitlin Clark.
Better than Mac and I together as a player.
I'm going to disagree with both of you on that. If you in your prime, what would the score be 1-on-1 if you played her 1-on-1 in your in your prime?
I would be 0-10.
You're the humblest guy there is. Mac?
She's great. I would tell if I was coaching now, I would tell every player of my players to watch her play, and that's how you should play, at least as a point guard or point/shooting guard.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she would have kicked my ass. If I would have had to fight, we probably would have gotten a fight. Just kidding.
The only thing I can say about that, this happened a while ago. My buddy Sherry Dobbs, you might know him. He's a girls coach at Clarkson. He worked at North Carolina camp, and he played 1-on-1 against a WNBA player, and he beat her 15-0. But that doesn't mean anything. Caitlin Clark is a different breed. We all know that.
Yeah.
So okay.
Times are changing.
I know.
Yeah.
Ray Holmes.
Great coach. Reminds me of Coach Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Very similar, very well respected, very nice person. Reminds me of my father. Reminds me, coach combination. That whole North Country group of right at the top of the basketball minds, and actually produced some excellent sons.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Okay. I don't know if you know Jeff and Steve Holmes. Tom.
Not that well.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Steve K-Mac.
Interesting.
Great coach, a little crazy.
He and my father coached together at Potsdam. They enjoyed, coaching together, and he was always at the camps and fun to be around.
Don Petty, referee.
Ooh.
True North Country official.
Yeah, he actually played for my father at Canton ATC.
Uh-huh.
Lived down the street from my parents afterwards, and just a very nice person.
Mm-hmm.
Great referee.
Mike Dean.
Almost as good as Tom Lacey.
Stop.
As a referee.
Mike Dean.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go first before Mac. He was my hero growing up, and I was in 8th grade, and we were a freshman, and he was a senior in high school and college. And is that right? 8 years apart. But anyway, he was my hero growing up, and just I tried to imitate everything he did.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Dean, I'm going to back you in just to show you I can still do it.
He said that to you in a PBA game?
The PBA game. He played one play. He backed me into just inside the foul line, did that little step back, and knocked the shot down.
Wow. Okay, let's see who else I got here. Tom Lacey. Why are you guys chuckling? You're chuckling.
Oh, my
Because,
first. I'm gonna come. If this was like word association, right? You boom,
Yeah.
say that again. And
Tom
the first thing
Lacey.
that comes to my mind. Go ahead.
Tom Lacey.
Driftwood.
Okay. That's
Nobody will
fine.
know what that means, but the people that know you will know what that means.
Okay. Mac?
Well, quick response is really hard for the new king of Plattsburgh, Tom Lacey. I go with. I guess I would go with just great competitor that had the same passion for the game that we all had. That's my quick response.
Okay.
That's not my funny
That's
one.
good enough. Remember when we played in the Burlington Summer League and the Holmes brothers cut me for you guys, and I had a little grudge against you, Bobby, and
That was my funny story, Lace.
yeah, I was playing ball denial. I wasn't talking to you. I was so ticked off, and finally you go.
And I didn't have any idea what was going on.
Yeah,
Like,
you go.
I
Lace.
thought you would just switch teams for in the PBA. I didn't realize that they bounced you.
Yeah, they cut me.
He was dogging me up and down the court.
Yep.
He would knock me when I was running by, and I'm looking and thinking, what the heck is going on with me and Lace?
Yeah.
I think he wants to punch me in the head. I don't really know why.
Yeah, and
Heck, I didn't even know his girlfriend or anything at the time. How could he be this mad at me?
well,
Yeah.
you did finally ask me. Go, Lace. What is the problem anyway? And I told you what it was, and then I lost my edge. You started getting the best of me again. I should have never told you.
Well, Lace, I got to throw in here real quick. I'm going to go with Kind Heart and your work with your basketball camps in the summer with free. Is that right? Free tuition, free
Free
for
sneakers,
the kids?
free leather basketballs, free shirts,
Yeah,
free breakfast and lunch,
that's-
free trophies. We went to Rucker Park. We donated some of the extra because they all got free sneakers. We had extras, and I donated them to a youth place in Harlem after we played at Rucker Park, our all-star team from the camp. And I'll tell you, that was so much fun. It really was. Well,
that your work that's been amazing, and
Yeah.
and I see that in a movie coming up. Maybe Netflix. Thing.
But we also
I
donated some to.
Hey, Lace, can I just echo? I got to echo a second thought. I think one of the things when I think of you now, it's your appreciation for the history of North Country basketball and keeping that alive.
Yeah.
I think
Thank
that's, and
you for
you've done
that.
that.
And I don't.
And
I'm
in
not.
this article, you've done that, and you just I think you just care about North Country basketball.
Yeah,
and that's a pretty cool thing.
Yeah, and I'm not seeking accolades or fanfare at all. I'm just wanting to get a reaction. But in that game at Rucker Park, as you guys know, I have this disability called neurosarcoidosis, and my balance is off. So I'd never played there. I went right to the free throw line. One of my players was rebounding for me, and I missed my first 5 free throws. And I was saying, I'm not leaving until I hit one. I got to hit one in Rucker Park, and finally I made one, and they all cheered. But so 1 for 6 at Rucker on free throws, and then we played the city champions in the first game, and I had a kid from Tupper Lake, of all places, Tupper Lake. Section 10, I believe. And every once in a while they have good players, but he's only 5'11", and he looks like he's probably listening. He looks like an altar boy or choir boy, someone that you're not going to pick in a pickup game. So we get the opening tap, and he goes down, and well, I did say he dunked it. He dunked it, but the ball bounced up. He dunked it hard too. And so he came down, and such a nice kid. He apologized for that, and he ended up being our high scorer. And I remember what he said after the game. It's two things. It's a thing that both of you guys would say, no doubt. I said, no. I said, what do you think? And he goes, Coach, if we played them best set of 7, we're beating them 4-2. The NBA 3-point line really hurt us because we were 0 for 15 because I didn't even notice it was NBA 3. So, but it was such a great experience for these kids, and they'll never forget it. So we're going to try to make that an annual thing. And I'd like to get some Section 10 players, too, to join us on that because, we all know about Rucker Park and the book Foul and the city game. And it's Walt Frazier walked by us, and it was pretty neat seeing all that. And so, Hal, I think you played there once, didn't you?
Well, we went. My father used to, when he would recruit, he would go to New York, and some of his former players, we would go over to watch the games. I never played there, but we would watch the games.
Yeah.
But that would be a great experience for the North Country kids to experience. Not only Rucker Park, but New York City, and have that experience of playing against that different style of basketball.
Yep.
And
that's. Their parents took them on the train. We stayed in Tarrytown, and they took them to New York City. These guys had never been in New York. They flat out loved it. One kid had New York pizza for the first time, and it's all he was talking about. So I really enjoyed that. That put a smile on my face, and I got to stop because this isn't about me anyway. So I better stop there. Let me keep going on here.
Wait, is this a 4-hour show? How long do I have to?
Paul Evans, word association again.
Ooh.
No comment.
Fiery.
No comment.
No comment.
Okay. Fiery. All right.
Okay. Fiery personnel. Personality. Fiery. Just worked everybody very hard, but was very successful.
Okay, and my last one. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead,
Bobby.
Go ahead.
That's right.
My last one is Jim Boeheim.
Ooh. Well, I'll go first.
Okay.
That's probably a good idea.
No. Yeah. No. Like I've said, great respect for him. Obviously, I guess as we say it in the paper, his record speaks for itself. But all the community work that he's done, just like you're doing here in Plattsburgh area, he's done in Syracuse for many, many, many years that people don't appreciate. He and his wife Julie, with their foundation, has helped out that Syracuse community unbelievably. So. As a player, you never think about these things later on in life, but he's also a very good role model for that. The foundation that he set up and all the good things he's done for the Syracuse community. But so I was very lucky, like I said, that we were there for the first 4 years to have a front row seat to watch him coach. In a career that nobody knew what was going to happen,
Face of Syracuse basketball.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'll never forget when we went to. I think the Final Four was in Atlanta, and I had these great seats. I was by myself, and Bobby walks by. He even had better seats, but in back of me. Sitting in back of me, I had better seats, and Derek Coleman and Mutombo were sitting in back of me. So I had great seats too. But I think they lost that game in Atlanta. I'm not really sure what happened.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brandon and Daywan were on the team. I actually had Daywan's his family tickets, which were courtside. And I walked down. I got to about where you were and Julie Boeheim was, and I said, "This is something wrong here. At least we can't be sitting in front of people." So I turned around, walked all the way back up to the top, and my JV coach, who I was with, and his wife, Charlie Falgitano, I said, Charlie, I can't find you guys. He goes, did you see Julie Boeheim? I said, yeah. He goes, well, just keep walking till you get to the course. Yeah.
You even said something to me, Lace.
Oh, yeah.
How'd you
yeah,
get
I don't
those
remember
tickets?
what it was now, but I remember walking right by you laughing. I probably said, meet me after the game for a drink.
No, you were in a hurry, though. I remember when you were playing in the state championship game. It might have been a semifinal. I'm not sure. But I did your game. I refereed your game. And it's tough. It really is tough to referee for friends, because I used to do it.
Oh, my God. Yes, it is.
But the Coleman kid, for you, and there's 3 officials, too, as you know. But
yep.
I'm pretty sure he took an extra step, and he dunked so hard. And I passed on it. I just said, and no, I'm not going to admit that. Well, no, I didn't cheat. I said, Bobby's one of my friends. The other 2 officials could have called that too, but they didn't. So I remember getting some heat for that, and you guys won that game handily. So
sometimes, late in high school basketball, a great dunk like that's better for the game than a travel call.
Yeah, you are right on that. So, but I think you ended up winning the state championship too. The next game, I don't think that was a state championship game, but it was. It was
the semifinals. I remember.
It was fun. It really was fun officiating your game for the first time.
It was. You were really a great official. You really were a great official because just like everything you did and do, you were committed.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for that. I have to ask this question. Did you guys watch the Olympics? A lot of the Olympics, or did you just watch basketball?
I watched quite a bit. I watched. I had trouble sitting through all the men's games because they were just so good.
Yeah.
So at halftime, I flipped to something else. But I watched quite a bit.
Okay. Well, I'm going to ask you guys each, who is your MVP of any athlete in the Olympics? One athlete. If you had to name one, would it be?
I'll go first. Avery Skinner.
Yeah.
What? We're a little bit prejudiced because what's Bo, Lieutenant Colonel? Michael
Lieutenant Colonel.
Okay.
That's his step-granddaughter.
Wow.
Believe it or not. And none of us knew that. He just happened to throw that out when we were all down at St. Simon Island. So I think we all kind of followed the volleyball pretty closely the rest of the way through.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's the first vote for her. I did a little poll myself, and I'm gonna go over that after our show is done here real quick. Mine, believe it or not, is Sydney McLaughlin in the track and field. How handily she won, and she was just, no one was even near her. So, okay, and again, this isn't about me, but you might have some funny ones. The funniest story that you know about me, anything. If there's none, don't worry about it, because I'm not a funny guy, so I'm pretty serious.
I don't know, but to me, I always go back to Driftwood.
Okay. All right.
And for some reason, my father he asked me something. You know a guy named Tom Lacey? And I said, yeah. He goes, something, and he was trying to, I don't know, were you trying to sell Driftwood to him, or you had to go to the store or something? Or
Yep.
And he says, and I think he returned to me and said, is this guy for real?
Right before a game, too. I was trying to sell him Driftwood.
Every time your name came up, the first thing he said was Driftwood.
Yeah, we had a special handshake, too.
Do you know what that's, can you tell the fans out there what that's all about?
One thing that I don't like is when people, the first question they ask you is, so what do you do? I don't like that. Get to know the person first before you ask that question. So it bothers me sometimes. And on Saturday Night Live, I saw this skit. This guy was a driftwood sculptor, and he spoke about driftwood, how much he sells it for, and he glued a live squirrel to one of his pieces of driftwood, and he sold it for $2,000. It was pretty funny, so I just remembered that, and that's why I say it, because I don't like that question. So what do you do? How about, hi, my name is, such and such. But if it's the first question, that's it. Driftwood is my response. But your dad didn't do that to me. I just did it to him. I didn't mean to. So, but that's why. Bobby, you have anything?
I was going to save the story we already came out when you were guarding me and holding me and bumping me. I'm thinking, what the hell is going on with Lacey? No, I can't. There's so many. I mean, we played in that 3-on-3 tournament down at Cortland.
Yeah, we could have won that. Yep.
I think we did, didn't we?
I think we did. Yes. Yep. And
I think we did.
The thing I liked is when at Potsdam camp when we'd put the mask on, and
I forgot about that.
and Jerry, we'd be up in the press box with a Ronald Reagan mask on and waving, and so I was one of them. I think Hal did it once too, and Bobby.
Wait a minute, were you in charge? Who was the originator? Who was the originator?
You were.
Who?
Hal was.
Coach Welch had just worn it, and then I don't know if you were with us or not, Lacey. Me and Hal and Rick, we found the outfit, and it fit me because I was the same sizes. So right in the middle of one of his lectures, I went running across the gym, and Coach had no idea somebody had found his outfit. It was hilarious. That was actually hilarious.
Yeah, and I'm going to end this with my last question. Hal already answered this, and actually I loved his answer too. So, PHS versus Canton, best of 7, and I love. Here's what Hal said. Now he probably say it again. Well, we only had to play one game. That's it. And that is it. We won. Same answer, Bob?
No, I think we played didn't we play 3 summers in a row?
No, I mean let's say that game at Potsdam was best out of 7, like an NBA series. What would it be?
Okay. Obviously I'm prejudiced. I think it's 4-2 Canton.
Okay.
But I got to laugh because I forgot. I was going to say this. I interrupted you. I apologize.
No,
but the crowd we had that night, I don't know if you remember. Now it was the whole half the gym was packed.
Yeah.
And when I was a freshman at Potsdam, the Potsdam State postcard came out, and I looked down and I'm thinking, that looks like Hal and I. and then I got a little bit closer and I said, wait a minute, that's not Potsdam State. That's the Canton Golden Bears, and that's Plattsburgh. that was in our intersectional game. Which, by the way, was one of the great games, I think, of all time up there. And it's one of the reasons we have New York State playoffs now.
Yeah, yep, it sure is. I just want to thank you guys so much. Two great friends of mine. Love everything about when we finally, when we meet, we always crack each other up and playing against each other, playing with one another. Everything about you guys, our area, Plattsburgh, all our guys love you guys, and thank you so much for everything. And I really hope you guys loved the article. I loved definitely writing it, except I didn't like the editor too much. I had a little problem with him.
No. Did you give him a T?
Well, listen, Lacey, as long as Mrs. Cohen is happy, we are happy.
Okay.
Everything's good. No, I really appreciate it, Lacey, for all your work, and keep up the good work in the community. You're doing a great job.
All right. Thanks so much. I appreciate both you guys. Man. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
We love you too, man. Talk to you
right.
later.
Love you too.
All
Bye.
Right.
Okay, that was Hal Cohen, played at Syracuse, and if you read the Canton newspaper, and also it'll be in the Syracuse paper in a week. Very well respected, one of the best doctors in the Syracuse area for a long time, and Bobby McKenney battling breast cancer and winning, and just two tough guys that will be friends for life. And so the last thing I want to do, on Facebook I put something out on the MVP for the Olympics, because I thought the Olympics were just phenomenal, and I got a ton of votes for who they thought was the best competitor, even for any country. And I probably could have got more votes, but it was just like a week on there. So let's start out. And the most votes, believe it or not, was Steph Curry. He got 21 votes, and you can probably see why. United States would have never won if Steph wasn't on that team. So that's a good choice. I know he's a professional, but there's a lot of professionals there. So he really did a job on the last 3 or 4 minutes of that game, and I can understand that. 11 votes for Kate Ledecky. She's just a very classy swimmer, one-handedly, very humble, and she'll probably be back next year. Another one, 7 votes for Cole, I might get the last name wrong, Hecker. He won the 1500 right at the very last minute, and we usually don't win that race, and he just he snuck in there. And then we have Simone Biles, also with 7 votes. How can you not love her? I have this funny feeling she'll be back again in Los Angeles, competing again and winning again. Another one that got 5 votes from another country, because she won the marathon, and she also won medals in the other distance races. Safan Hassan from, I'm not sure what country, but just how can you not appreciate what she did? Sydney McLaughlin, I forgot her. She's married now. She has a last name, and I can't remember what it is. And she got 4 votes. And just another humble person who you'll probably see in Los Angeles and still winning. She's young. 3 votes for the men's gymnastic team. They put on a show for the first time in a long time. Ryan Krauser, I believe he was a shot putter, so he won a gold medal again. This guy, honestly, I don't remember. Leon Marshad, he got 1 vote, and Youssef Dykek got 1 vote as well. And if you have any comments on anyone else that might you feel get more votes, just text me, and maybe I can get it on for next week. Okay, the last thing I want to say is our next week's guest is Tom Brennan, and he will be coming to the show, to the studio, so you can actually call in. And if you don't want to call in, just write comments. I'll read them, but we can get as many callers as possible. And later, after he's done, I'm going to be having the kid from Tupper Lake, who I respect so much, and his name is Tom Peterson, and he's going to be going to North Country, and I'm trying to get one Clinton Community College kid as well to be on my show next week. So we're going to have Tom Brennan for an hour, and those 2 individuals for maybe 15 minutes or 20 minutes, and we'll continue as the show goes. One last thing, though. If anyone knows, I want to get Jan Trombley, who is, I believe, the only summer Olympian from our area. I could be wrong on that. If anyone knows how to get a hold of her, I'd like to get her on my show, and you can just text me or whatever. But thank you very much, everyone. Enjoy this fine Saturday. Summer's not coming to an end yet, and fall's going to be great. So everyone take care, and God bless you all. Take care. Bye.